Hey guys, what's up? Peekaboo25 here, and I'm doing a new thing for you guys today. I am doing top 10 countdowns. Here it is, top 13. Well, I said top 10 previously. I kind of think that's kind of an error. Just countdowns of my personal preference relating to my passion, amusement parks, theme parks. I'll sure be able to do this because this is probably going to last me during the theme park off season. I still am going through Raging Bull withdrawal and whatnot, and I'm going through withdrawal on coasters. It's gonna be a struggle until about May. It really is. Does any of you guys relate? Wow, my grammar that kind of sucked. Anyway, I have the top 13 coasters at Six Flags Great America, my home park, the one I've been to many, many, many times, and I formulated many opinions about it. The ones I avoid, the ones I'm too big for, the ones I'm always going to get a seat on, yes, and even the ones I always get a specific seat on, and ride multiple times. So, here's my opinions. Number 13 is Little Dipper. It's Vekoma, not even Vekoma, it's a PTC little kids coasters. Like, it's probably going to be many people's first coaster who reside in Illinois. It was mine, and it was the start of something beautiful for me. I didn't know that I was PTC. All I knew is that I was Little Dipper, and that was fun. I was riding with one of my friends at day camp. We went to Kittyland on a field trip, and it was very fun. I loved Little Dipper, and it started something beautiful. And I love how they once Kittyland went bankrupt and closed, they relocated Little Dipper from Kittyland to Great America, where it sits as a historical landmark. I'm pretty sure the thing opened in like the 40s or the 50s. I mean, this thing is older than my grandparents probably. Maybe about as old as my grandparents. I mean, this thing is old, but still, if I ever want a nostalgia rush, I get on this thing. It's the best way to do it. Number 12 is Spacely's Sprocket Rockets. The only coaster I've never been on at Great America, because once I learned it existed, I was just too big for it. I just was. So, I've never been able to get on this thing, but I have a feeling that it's not going to be any better than some of the major rides, as in like 11 through 1, definitely. But this is a Vekoma Junior coaster that's the star attraction of Camp Cartoon, located right by Goliath, right by the first overbank turn of Goliath. Small little section, kiddie section, right by Loggers Run as well. I don't go there very often. I just pass by it often from when I'm going from Goliath to V2. Number 11 is the Dark Knight Coaster, a wild mouse in a box with probably the best theming you'll ever see in a Six Flags coaster. And that's probably the truth right there. It's a wild mouse in a box with theming and a couple jump scares. I mean, a train that comes out of nowhere and a firing squad of the Joker and Lex Luthor or something. I don't even think Lex Luthor is in it. What's the other guy? I forget. I'm not good with my Batman. All I know is that Batman's awesome and he wants to take down the Joker. Probably know a few other things, but I'm not very good with my superheroes. Anyway, just a wild mouse in a box. That's it. With some decent theming. It's pretty fun in the queue line, but the efficiency isn't exactly the best either. And I love that it comes with pouches in the trains. Like, you can carry your phone with you and the pouches in the train. And number 10 is the Whizzer, one of 2 Ace Coaster Landmark Awards. This is truly a unique family coaster. Its signature spiral lift hill. It's powered by a hot rail, if you ever wonder where the seat goes a bit hotter than usual during the lift hill. It's got all sorts of twists, turns, and helixes throughout the woods, going in and out of the woods and over a small pond. It's a great family coaster. I mean, it's kind of rough and jerky, because all you have is a seatbelt, and you sit, and the smaller person sits in the older person's lap if you're riding with a train. And it's the Whizzer. I mean, it's all you can really use to describe it. I mean, there's not a lot of these out there. I think it's a Jetstar 3 model from Schwarzkopf. Number 9 is the Demon. It's an original at Great America. This originally opened its turn of the century in 1976, the year of Great America's opening. And this was modified in 1980 to become Demon. where instead of having just the double corkscrew, they threw in 2 vertical loops and all sorts of theming. And this ride, it's an Aero custom looper. It's only going to be so good. It's one of the older ones as well. 2 vertical loops, 2 corkscrews, and a little bit of headbanging in the especially corkscrews. I witnessed someone get whiplash on that. And whenever I'm walking through the railway, the little midway between the Justice League to X-Flight, or where the Justice League will go, whenever I see someone going through the corkscrews, I just always yell, "I'm sorry for your head!" Because I've literally seen people have their head jerked way too far to the right, or the left, whatever way. And it's just, thankfully I'm really tall and my head pokes above the restraints, and the last time I went on it, I learned how to stiffen my neck. And I didn't experience much headbanging, but still, not exactly the best ride there. Number 8 comes as a surprise. It's American Eagle. This coaster can be really good, surpass Viper, V2, and other coasters, but it's so rough around the edges. It's got such a large, extraordinary layout. It's a racing coaster, which is always a plus, and it's got that extraordinary 540 helix turnaround. It's got one of the biggest turnarounds I've ever seen. Not to mention the biggest freaking queue line. Ugh. You need to be a marathon runner in order to get through that thing. But I digress. I mean, American Eagle, it really could use a reprofile. It doesn't need to be RMC, because I'm not sure what RMC would do with this thing. It's an out and back layout with that helix having a lot of potential, but honestly, this thing can use a reprofile just like Ghost Rudder did. But Intamin hasn't made a wooden coaster in a little while, in like 10 years maybe. I don't know when El Toro opened. I mean, I don't know. Intamin hasn't made a wooden coaster in a while, and this was one of the first. So the odds of this thing getting reprofiled are kind of low, but if it does, I definitely will add this to my lineup, my routine. Number 7 is the second wooden coaster of the park, Viper. It's much smaller than American Eagle, but I feel like much smoother. This coaster is a Coney Island Cyclone clone, try saying that 10 times fast, and was actually the only coaster in the park built in-house by Six Flags. I mean, they hired Rigel Construction to build it, which is kind of a far left field manufacturer, constructor guy, but I learned this was built in-house by Six Flags, which, yeah. Unlike the other Cyclones, 2 of them are now defunct, which is Cyclone, which is RMC'd in New England, in Six Flags New England, make Wicked Cyclone, and Cyclone in Magic Mountain, which was just demolished in the late 2000s. And Georgia Cyclone, which that's an abomination, and that I want that to be RMC'd. Once again, Din really disappoints. But this thing, I ride this one every time, and it's usually the first coaster I go on. Since I bypass Whizzer, and if I ride it's usually the first coaster I go on. If I usually could ride Triple Play or Orbit, because those are pretty fun family flat rides, but this is the first coaster I go on. This coaster is still very fun, and it's the only reason, it's the reason that Southwest Territory came to exist. It replaced the spot of Rolling Thunder, and the whole area received its Southwest theming. It was the reason Southwest Territory came to exist. And this coaster is amazing. Number 6 is V2 Vertical Velocity, an Intamin impulse coaster. And it's the only launch coaster in the park, unfortunately. Because I feel like Six Flags Great America couldn't use another launch coaster. It can be even small, like a Skyrocket 2 in the spot of something. Like Demon or something. But this coaster, it's a short, exhilarating ride. Intamin impulse. It's honestly not the best. Especially since it lost the ability to use its holding brake on the vertical spike in 2008. Yes, that existed at one point. 2008 is when it started going on smaller coasters like the Whizzer and whatnot. Little Dipper, Whizzer, Demon maybe. I don't know, I think 2009, 2010 is when I started riding the big things. Like Eagle, maybe Batman, maybe Superman. Maybe, I think I got a couple rides in Iron Wolf in. But yeah, this coaster, it was actually the last coaster added up to my routine. Because if you know something about me, I hated launch coasters until June 2015, when I went to Hershey Park for 2 days, and I rode Storm Runner like 4 or 5 times. I absolutely love Storm Runner, and it taught me to not be afraid of launch coasters. And Storm Runner is the reason I love launch coasters. But this thing isn't exactly this thing is no Storm Runner. This thing is not very impressive, but still a good ride. Number 5 is Superman Ultimate Flight. I mean, number 5, 4, and 3, which they could really be placed in any order. I mean, it's all personal preference. I'm personally not too crazy about flying coasters. I have fun in them. I love the feeling of flight, but I personally prefer Batwing and Nighthawk over this. Or not, Firehawk, I meant. I've never been on Nighthawk, but I probably will in 2016. But Superman Ultimate Flight, I'm not too crazy about this ride, but I still go on it. It's the last ride I go on if I don't do any repeats or if I'm short on time. And it's just one of those things that you should go on, but the efficiency is really slow on this one, so you're often left hanging in the brake run. And the pretzel loop, I'm really not a huge fan of the pretzel loop. I know a lot of people love the G's, but personally, I hate it when it squeezes all the air out of me. Squeezes all the breath out of me, and it just makes me nearly gray out. It makes me gray out. I don't really like that. I mean, I can handle all sorts of intense coasters, like lots of G's and a launch coaster. I can handle a boomerang. I don't really black out. I've never blacked out on a coaster. But the pretzel loop makes me gray out every time I go on it. I just can't really handle the pretzel loop very well. Number 4 is X-Flight. It's the B&M Wing Coaster of the park, the second most recent edition of a coaster. And this was the only coaster I ever rode on before it was open to the public. They had a season pass holder exclusive day in April or May of 2012, and I got to ride X-Flight. It was about a 45-minute wait of entirely season pass holders, and that was the first thing we did, and it was a great ride. I loved it. I love how smooth it was. I love that wing over drop. The hang time on the fly through is amazing. X-Flight is a really underrated coaster, maybe. I don't know. It's a wing coaster. They get a lot of crap for being forceless, and I will admit, it's not exactly the most forceful coaster. But still, very fun nonetheless. The inversions, like the Immelman wing over drop, the 2-0 G rolls, the stalled inline twist, the fly-throughs, it's all really fun. And it's a quick ride, I get it, but still, it's still pretty fun. And number 3 is Batman the Ride. Batman the Ride here is the first of many clones, and actually, not a lot of people know this holds an Ace Coaster Landmark Award for being the first ever invert. Yes, this thing existed before SLCs did, so I'm pretty sure the first SLC opened in like 95. This thing opened in 92. And this was the first ever invert. And let me just say, its layout is so intense, the inversions happen so quickly. This thing is amazing. I love Batman the Ride. It's very fun. I remember I used to avoid it because I remember I didn't exactly know how to prevent headbanging on this ride. I mean, if you kind of get the wrong seat, the back row kind of has some headbanging, and you kind of have to hold your neck kind of rigid because it's very fast-paced, very intense. And the corkscrews may cause a bit of headbanging, but it's still. I love the intensity of this ride. I love the inversions, and really like this ride. Really do. I wonder how many times I've loved this video. And number 2, we're going to get into some serious controversy now. I put Goliath below Raging Bull. And hear me out on this one. Goliath, I was underwhelmed with on opening day. Well, this thing opened in June because the frickin' thing caught fire. Only in the station, though. No minor damage, but there was only minor damage to the station. But this thing opened very late. I kind of had to wait in a very long line for this. And the efficiency, the operations of this coaster are terrible. 2 sets of restraints and their very lackluster performance when it comes to loading this thing. And often the lines are much longer than they need to. And speaking of the queue line, you have to get a ticket in order to board this thing. If you don't have to pay for it, you need to go up to the front of the line, redeem a ticket, and then wait through the entire line holding on to that ticket. And it allows you one validation that you can ride this ride, and it's stupid. I really don't like that feature. I mean, I don't know what Six Flags is thinking entirely, but this coaster's not bad at all. I love the dive loop. The dive loop is very fun. The couple ejector airtime hills are also very fun. But the dive loop's probably my favorite part. I love that dive loop. I mean, I love it more than the upside down hang time stall. In the hang time stall, I really wish that at the end it twisted the other way around instead of you kind of twist one way, you go through the stall and you twist one direction, but I wish you'd twist that other direction because I feel like it'd just be a bit more natural. It'd feel more like a 0G roll than just a stall. It'd just feel more complete to me. But this coaster's not bad at all. And then we get to number 1, Raging Bull. This coaster is absolutely amazing. I never get sick of it. I can marathon this for hours upon hours and still have fun every time. This coaster gets so much crap, and I'll be the first one to defend this. I absolutely, positively, wholeheartedly love this ride. This is the main reason I go to Six Flags Great America. This is the reason I go. I mean, this coaster, this park, would not be the same without this 1999 B&M crown jewel of a Hyper Twister coaster. I mean, granted, Great America doesn't exactly have the best quality of things. Low quality RMC, low quality Hyper, low quality invert, low quality flyer. They have some low quality rides, but this is definitely the stick out of the low quality. I mean, yes, it has a noticeable rattle, but I don't care. This thing is so much fun, especially in the back row. I can't tell you how many times I've ridden in the back row. Your stomach goes up to your heart, and you're just free falling. The drop is so steep. Maybe fanboying right now, but this is a worthy cause. Raging Bull is absolutely amazing, and you are not experiencing Great America entirely without riding this coaster several times. I happen to ride this coaster at least twice every time I go. This coaster is just amazing. I love, love, love Raging Bull. And before you go back and do this again, we'll do a recap with some silly names involved as well. Because, you know, I like being that guy. Number 13 is Memories Made of Timber, Little Dipper. Number 12 is Shameless, but no one will ever get it, Jetsons theme, because it's a kiddie coaster. How many kids know Jetsons? Number 11, Wild Mouse in a Box. Number 10, Ace Coaster Landmark that nearly got demolished before it received it. Number 10, Headbanger Extraordinaire. Number 8, So Rough Around the Edges, May You Please Fix This Thing. Number 9, I don't get why so many people hate this. Coaster Arts, I'm looking at you. Why do you hate this thing so much? And yes, I just shamelessly plugged out one of my subscribers. I think I might have just lost him. Number 6 really needs to be sisters with a Skyrocket too. I mean, seriously, this coaster's kind of shameful. Number 5, Pretzel Loop that squeezes all the breath out of you. Number 4, underrated wing coaster. Number 3, Batman, the ride. What kind of name is that? Number 2, Bandwagon Hype Train. And number 1, the best, Raging Freaking Bull. I literally have a shirt that says that. Wish I can show you guys in one of my, if I ever do a vlog, I'll probably be wearing that. Like, I remember I wore my Raging Freaking Bull shirt to, like, one of the other parks that had a hypercoaster. I think Six Flags Over Georgia. Or no, did I wear it to Over Georgia or Kings Island? I got quite a few hateful comments that day. But yeah, we just recap there, and, you know, it's Great America. It's not exactly the best park. But it's still one of the best locations in Six Flags, and it's really, really fun. I love this park, and it's definitely the best park we have in the Midwest. Because, trust me, the next best park is 6 hours away, whether that be Cedar Point or Kings Island. So you have, where I live, 2 hours north is Mount Olympus, and about 4 or 5 hours away is Holiday World. I've only been to Mount Olympus of those two, and I was at the water park that day. My last visit to Mount Olympus was in 2012, in like June or July of that year. But still, I'll plan on doing more countdowns for all the parks I've been to. Expect to see some for like Kings Island, Cedar Point, Six Flags St. Louis, Six Flags Over Georgia. I really hope I'd like to create those all eventually. But I haven't had a lot of open time. But thankfully now I'm on Thanksgiving break, Yeah, have a whole week off to myself, and my brother's probably gonna unlock the computer so he can upload his Minecraft videos. I'm pretty sure I have him under, like, my IRL friends in the channel home or something. I don't know. He's kind of, I don't know. But yeah, this has been Peekaboo25. This has been the top 13 coasters at Six Flags Great America. And I hope, please, do not get so mad that I personally prefer Raging Bull over Goliath. And please, during this Thanksgiving break, stay safe, and as always, peace.